Welcome back. We're ready to do another ArcGIS Pro Lab. Today's lab is Lab 10, and that is going to be digitizing aerial photos. And essentially, this is just going to be drawing on top of an aerial photo. We're going to add some shape files. We're going to draw some shape things in those shape files based on an imagery base map. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll create a new blank map. This is Lab 10. Lab 10. Store this in the place where we always store our stuff. Here, ArcPro Labs. There we go. Okay. And as always, we'll remove the topographic map when it comes up. There we go. Remove. Okay. So I've got the instruction open in front of me. It says add a base map. We've already created a project in ArcPro, turn on topographic map. Okay, so here's how we add the base map. Some of you may or may not be able to do this, depending on your computer speed and the how well Esri servers are working to serve your base map imagery. But we're going to click Map and then Base Map right here. And we can go in here and we can see that there's a variety of base maps open for us. You may want to choose a different one whenever you actually start making your own maps and you have to overlay your own shape files. But what we're going to do here today is we're going to work with imagery with labels. So we're going to click on that one, wait for it to pull up, and you can see that it's the map of the United States and Canada and New Mexico, or Mexico. We are going to use the locate tool to zoom to the University of North Texas area. The instruction says the locate tool allows you to search for locations using address or place name to find features. Essentially, Esri has this giant database of already geocoded data. And so what you can do is you can use the locate tool, which is right here. And will come up. It's just you type in University of North Texas. And there we go. It's got several, it shows you the geocoding service that you're drawing from. We're just going to pick this top one right here because that'll bring us into the UNT area. So we'll click it. It automatically zooms there. It kind of makes this little deal here for the center of what it shows for University of North Texas. Pretty easy stuff. If you cannot add this base map, you can go ahead and close the locate tool there. If you can't add the base map because Esri servers are doing whatever, or your internet speed is bad, or maybe you're working offline, what we're going to do is we're going to add an aerial image of our own. And here's how we do that. We're going to add a raster file. We're going to go to Add Data, locate the data that's downloadable for this lab. Going to be under Lab 10, Data. NAIP stands for National Agricultural Imagery Program. It's basically a USDA-funded program that captures all the imagery in the United States every, used to be 3 years. I think they may have done it to 2 years now. But anyway, we're going to click once on this TIFF file here. And this is a geocoded TIFF file. We're just going to click once on it and hit OK. And that will add it to your map here. It's going to be, the color is going to be a little bit different. That's all right. We'll wait for that to pull up. It can take a little bit. Rasters, especially those at this resolution, can take a little bit to pull up. But there we go. So we've got our Neighbor Imagery here. Go ahead and put that on top of everything. You could put it right here if you wanted. You could keep it there. You don't have to worry about what the RGB, this is just the color spectrum. The color bands, which show, when combined, they show, they make up this color. I'm going to go ahead and turn my world imagery off, and I'm going to turn my places off because I like working with the actual Neighbor imagery itself. Okay, so I am on page 2 at the very bottom where we just downloaded. Well, it says to download the imagery. then extract it. But I've showed you how to do all this stuff. So it's, all you really have to do is extract the imagery, add the TIFF file, you're done. It's pretty easy to do. So going to go on to page 4. It says your Art Pro interface should look like this. It does, so great. The next bit says dataset feature class using Art Catalog. To begin digitizing features using aerial imagery, we first have to create feature classes to contain their geometries. We'll do this in the catalog pane. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to create empty feature classes. We're just going to create a feature class that has no geometry in it. It has no lines, no polygons, no points. And we're going to use these feature classes. What we're going to do is we're going to digitize pieces of the aerial imagery. And that will be included in our new shapefiles or new feature classes. So here's how we do that. The instruction says in the ribbon bar, catalog pane. So we'll go view, catalog panes right here. Usually it's still up over here, so if you want, you can just click on catalog here. Drop down the folders option, and we're going to right click on the folder that you created for this lab. We're creating a new empty shapefile. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit new shapefile. And it's going to come up with the geoprocessing tool, create feature class. We've got the feature class location. You don't have to change this because this is where it's going to be stored. Okay. You have to give your feature class a name. And feature class, a shapefile can be a feature class. So that's what we're creating here. It's actually a shapefile, but a shapefile is a feature class. So we're going to call this one trees. And what we're going to do is we're going to put points on the UNT campus of trees. So we're going to call this trees.shp. The geometry type should be points because we can scroll in here and look at some of these trees here. And these are going to be better as points. They don't, you could, make a polygon for, the canopy of the tree, but we want to know that the location of the trunk, right? So we're going to do a point file for that. You really don't have to worry about a template data set. You don't have to worry about MRZ coordinate system. We're going to give this a geographic coordinate system of WGS 1984. So we'll click this geographic coordinate system. It should be under world. Yeah. And WGS 1984. Here we go. Okay, that'll populate here. Don't worry about the alias. Don't worry about anything else. We'll just hit run. And when it finishes running, it will have created a new empty shapefile. We can go into catalog here and we can find that shapefile. We'll drop this down. We'll see that we have a shapefile now called trees. Okay, so that's how that works. Now we're gonna repeat the process and do that for a shapefile called road and another one called building. So let's go back into folders, lab 10, new shapefile. That is correct. We said we were going to do one called road, SHP. Now roads are best as lines or polylines, right? It's just one line that runs across your area. You can create them as polygons sometimes, but you will almost always see them as lines. So we're going to create them as lines or polylines. So that's we got a polyline here, like that. Don't worry about this. No. Give it a geographic coordinate system of world. Actually, it should be under favorites now, I think. No. You could probably use this one, but we're going to go ahead and do it the right way, just so we can familiarize ourselves with that. World, WGS 1984. Okay. Populates there. We'll hit run. Let it go. Let it run. There it goes. It's created. Find it in catalog. Road right there.
So go back in and we'll do one more. This one's going to be called building. Building. Yeah. Building.xp. This is going to be a polygon because a polygon, it's best to draw it, if you're going to draw around this outline here, that's going to be, best off as a polygon. So that's what geometry type we're going to give it. Drop that down and go polygon. No, this is already populated. You can go back through and find it if you wanted. World. WGS 1984. Hit OK. Hit run, and it will populate in the catalog as soon as it finishes. There we go. There's building. Okay, so now we have 3 empty shapefiles. Let's go back into the table of contents, and we see that they're added over here. So we created our empty shapefiles. These are going to be the symbologies for them, right? Got a real and it automatically assigns the symbology for it randomly. You can change that now if you want, or you can change it later. But anyway, so I am on page 5, or actually 6 of the instruction. It says shapefiles are created. If you don't see it here, you can just go into catalog, choose your shapefiles, drag it over, add it like that. But mine are already added, so I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, on page 6 it says digitizing features. We now have 3 empty shapefiles for which we will digitize features located on the aerial image. Your goal is to digitize trees as points, roads as polylines, and buildings as polygons. Periodically, you'll need to zoom in or out or pan across to discover these features on your map. This is where a scroll wheel, a mouse with a scroll wheel is invaluable. If you can't zoom easily, you can just you can click the shift key, click and zoom like that. I prefer to use my scroll tool. To zoom back out, you can use whatever methods you need to use. But anyway, that's how that works. So so we're going to start digitizing some features on here. I'm going to go up to the environmental science building right here. Zoom in just a little bit. Here's the environmental science building. And let's see, number 1 on page 6 says click the edit in the ribbon bar, and then click to create, or that. We're going to click create here because we're going to create features. So we'll go ahead and click that. Create features will open up. Sometimes it'll open up over here for some people. I think on my laptop I have mine open over here. But anyway, you'll see templates for your 3 shapefiles over here, right? And so if we're going to begin digitizing trees, we're going to go ahead and click the tree template. It's got some tools here for you. You really don't have to worry too much about these for what it is right now. We're just ready to start digitizing. So we'll come back over here and we can see that we have crosshairs right here, right? And that's, when you click, that's where your tree is going to appear. I know there are 2 trees here, so I'm going to go ahead and click once here. And then once here. And you'll see that those 2 trees were added. Now I can change the symbology on that because I really don't like that. I'm going to change it to, I'm going to put it like circle 3, and then we'll change those properties to something green, just for now. Hit apply. Yeah, so now we've got two green points for trees. And that's really all there is to adding adding points. It's pretty easy. You just need to zoom in and out and find where your trees are, and just click in the middle of the tree canopy. I'm moving on to page 7 now. It says when you add points, you may notice they are initially difficult to see because they're too small or the color blends with the background. Simply change the tree layer's symbology in the table of contents to a color. That's what we already did. We can add just a couple more in here. I don't know, I'll put one here. one here, one here. Okay, so I've got 5 trees added to my tree slate right here, right? If you misclick on something, let's say that I clicked in the middle of this parking lot, and I don't like that. I don't want my tree there, right? We want to move that. Just click the move tool, center it over that, and then you can move it to a tree. Yeah, there's one right over here. You can move that tree there. If you wanted to delete it, you could just well, if I can get just a word. Yeah, you just select it with the select tool. Select that, and then you press the delete button, and it's gone. Alternatively, you could right click on that and then just hit delete. You've also got your move tool and the right click right there. So there's a variety of different ways to do it. It's just what works best for you, right? So I'm going to leave my, well, actually, yeah, I'm going to delete this one. Okay, so we've got the, those created. If you wanted to deselect a feature, go ahead and click that. You just hit clear up here, and it'll deselect that feature. Let's see, on page 7, it says, when digitizing, it's a good idea to click the Save button in the Edit section of the toolbar in case GIS Pro crashes. That's right here. That's a good idea. So we're going to go ahead and click Save Edits, hit yes. That'll commit your changes. So every great once in a while, every few minutes or so when you're digitizing images, go ahead and click that Save button. Let's see, the instruction says your task for this lab is to digitize 20 trees, and I've done 5 of those for you. So all you have to do is find 20 others. They don't, you don't have to be exact because we don't know where the exact, deal is here. Just, click here, 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 just do some places on campus. It doesn't even have to be in this area. You could, come over here, and as long as it's on the UNT campus, because that's what we're trying to highlight here. Okay, so digitize 20 trees, make sure you save them. Let's see, on page 7, I'm on number 2. At the very bottom, it says next you'll digitize line features. The process is very similar to digitizing points. In a Create Features pane, Create Features pane is down here. It says click on roads. I'm going to go ahead and change that symbology right now, because I already know it's too light. I'm going to change that to something, I'm going to change it to like yellow, I don't know. Just to have it like that. I'm going to bring it up to like 3 point, yeah. Just to have something that I can see on. Then we'll go back to Create Features, and I'm going to digitize. Let's see, what can I do here? I'm going to digitize this road just going across right here. And you know what? As a matter of fact, I'm not. I'm going to do this road. I'm going to do from here all the way over, just to show you a little trick. So when you start digitizing, you want to click in the middle of the road, right? You don't want to click over here because that's not really the road. And we're not surrounding the road with polygons. It's just a line. So I'm going to click right in the middle of the road, and I'm going to draw my line out. Now, if I wanted to draw all the way across here, you can see that my line doesn't cover the road, right? It goes off the road. So here's how you work around that. You kind of just do a series of points like this, just for these purposes. I'm going to click out here, click back into there. Whenever the road starts to straighten out, you can make your long lines like that. When you're done digitizing your road, I'm going to drag it out just a little more. I'm going to go to right here. When you're done, you can double click and it commits that line, right? Save, yes.
So there's that. And you can see that we know that we drew it in straight lines, but we see that it makes that curve right there, right? So if you were to extend it out past here, you'd have straight line out here, and then you'd have a little curve, and then it continue to go straight. Now I intentionally mess this one up here, because what we're going to do is we're going to fix that. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to right click, edit vertices. You can also find that right here in this toolbar. Right click and edit vertices, and it shows each vertex. Everywhere you clicked, it shows those vertexes, right? So all you have to do is just drag that back up onto the road. Click that right there. And there it's fixed. We hit save, and we have fixed that road. Let's go ahead and deselect it and see what it looks like. Yeah, that's not too bad. It could be better, but not bad. And so I'm going to do one more, I think. What's another good road we can do here? Yeah, let's say that we wanted to do, I'm just going to do like this section here just to show you the curves thing again, because that's how you create curves using these lines. Go back into create features. We're still on road. So I'm going to click that tool there, down to here, and then I've got my curves, so I'm going to stay in the middle of the road. We're going to create many vertices to give the illusion of a curve. Go out straight here, drag that up, around the middle of the road there, and I'm done right here, so I'm going to double click. There we go. Not perfect. I could probably fix this vertex right here, but believe it or not, they have people who are hired to do this all day long, and I've done that work for some areas, and it is not fun. But anyway, that's how you would create a curve. And you know, on your work, you would want to drag the you know, the road all the way out. You know, complete the road. If I wanted to complete that road here, I could just go back into here. I could select it, edit vertices, and yeah, and you can just add a vertex here like that, right? Click that there. And I'll just move this all the way up like that. Drag it all the way up to my road here. Click this to finish. I'm going to edit this vertex here. Just connect it with my road. These are just little nitpicky things. Roads ought to connect, so. But yeah, that's how you digitize lines on a map. Whenever you're done, edit, save. Well, yeah, yes, there we go. Okay, and for this lab, you need to digitize 5 roads. They can be any 5 roads. Just make sure that it's, you know, complete. You know, digitize the full road. If it happens to go outside of an area, not that big of a deal. I mean, we're digitizing the roads on campus, right? And your map, your final map for this is probably not going to show the entire, you know, aerial. So anyway, your task is to create 5 roads. Got it. Page 7, digitizing polygon features. Yeah, we're going to do buildings for this, right? It works similarly to digitizing lines. We're going to click the building template. If I can click it, there we go. We'll click the building template, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom in like this building here, whatever that's called. I should know because I've done work out here. So it's just pretty much the same. You know, it works, you know, pretty similarly to roads. You're just going to click on the outside of all of these right here.
And it's usually easiest to do this on a building that has, nice straight lines. You could do it for a building with this curve here, but you'd be drawing a bunch of points around that to make give the illusion of a curve. It's just easier for me to show this. So we're going to click on each corner of this building, right? Try to keep your line, straight. Probably not going to do it, perfect the first time. Go up here, come down to here, come over to here, there, there. And that's how this is done. It's not really rocket science, but it is a little bit painstaking sometimes because I can't get this point to add. There we go. There, there. Let's go around to here. I'm not going to do the whole thing perfectly. When you're done, this is our last point right here. We're going to double click. There's our polygon. You can straighten these lines out by just going back in, edit vertices. Those vertices will pop up and you can just move them around however you need them to be moved. I could move this out to here like that and complete that. So better, not perfect, but I'm not going to do it perfect for you. But that's how you draw polygons. Just basically choose a building, click, each corner of that building. It's just basically tracing the outline of the building. That's all that you're doing. And you just click each point, each corner, and that's really all there is to it. If you need to, well, I showed you how to move those vertices around. If you need to delete one, I mean, it's exactly the same thing. We would right click on the vertice, hit delete vertex. You can add them, the same way by right clicking. That's about it. We're going to go ahead and hit save. There's not too much more I can say about this. For this lab, you have to digitize 10 buildings. Do the best you can. Make sure and zoom in on those buildings to make sure you get as accurate a point as possible. So I'm on page 8 now. It says digitize assignment. Digitize at least 20 trees, 10 buildings, and 5 driveways or roads or driveways. Export your map as a JPEG file. Your map should include all the necessary elements: north arrow, scale bar, legend, authorship, and title. Easy stuff. We just we go into here, we insert new layout. This is probably, depending on how your buildings are set up and what you select in here, is going to depend on. That's going to determine which of these you choose. I'm just going to pick landscape. We'll add that map frame. In here, and you can build your map however you want. Just as long as it has a title, north arrow, scale bar, legend, and authorship. You can see this is, I've got some white space out here, so it's way too far zoomed out. I go in my table of contents here, and I don't know, we'll zoom to building. That's going to be way too close, but yeah. You're going to have more buildings, so whenever you do that, you can zoom to building or zoom to road, and it'll correctly zoom for it. I'm going to we'll just undo that. Anyway, yeah, that's how you do that. So I'm going to do this real quick. Zoom to the roads. Yeah, that's not, that's better. We can bring this up on the bottom a little bit. Count out that road there. So we've got a road that trails off, like that. It doesn't have to be this far zoomed out. If you've only got roads, trees, and buildings in this area here, then of course you'll want to zoom to that layer.
and you know, make the map. You can add you know, your title, legend, north arrow, scale bar, all that stuff down here, or you can put your title up here. Use your, you know, look at a map, look at an aerial map of you know, on like Google or something, and just kind of get some ideas about how you might want to, what sorts of layout would you choose. This layout is going to be up to you. That's about it for this assignment. Pretty easy stuff, not that bad. And you should probably finish it up pretty quickly. So, in any case, if you guys have any questions, always get a hold of us and we'll be happy to help.